most of us have the desire of changing our life for the better. But the problem is we don't know how to start or how to get there. We do research after research after research, trying to find tricks and hacks on how to reach our dreams, to accomplish our goals, and to get the life that we deserve. But the problem is we don't have enough consistency, and we try to create habits in order for us to get there. If that's you, I'm gonna share with you 5 massive but easy habits that will change your life completely. I'm Daniel and welcome back. Let's be real for a moment. When we search power habits or the best habits to be productive or habits that can change your life, we mostly see taking cold showers, waking up at 5 a.m., meditating, journaling. Sure, those sound great in picture, but when it comes to actually do it, we all struggle. I struggle for sure. I can barely just, wake up at 6 or 7 a.m. So in this video, I'm not gonna share with you any of those cliche habits that, by the way, they're excellent habits to have, but I'm gonna go to a different type of habits, simpler, easier to do, that actually had a huge impact in my life. So let's dive in. Habit number 1, the 2-minute rule. If you are doing something or if you face something that it will literally take you less than 2 minutes, like taking out trash, doing dishes, making up your bed, just do it. It takes you less than 120 seconds, but the impact that that task will have in your life is massive, because by doing that, you're increasing your level of confidence that you can get things done. 1, that you're able to avoid procrastination. 2, and that you're in a more organized and cleaner environment. If any other task takes you more than 2 minutes, just schedule it. Set up a time on a specific day that you want just to do that, whether it could be cleaning the house or folding laundry or cooking. Whatever takes you more than 2 minutes, it could be 5, it could be 10, it could be half an hour, it could be an hour, just schedule it. Habit number 2, create schedules rather than a to-do list. To-do list focus only on the output, on the end product. And the problem with that is we tend to overestimate what we can do in a day. So we start the day with the 10 things on a to-do list. Seems like a pretty easy thing to do, but the problem is that at the end of the day, we've only accomplished less than 5, or at least that's what happened to me a lot. So instead of focusing on the output, I would just focus on the tasks per se. I would just create time blocks in my day where I would allocate an hour for certain activities. If I needed to write a script, I would just allocate 1 hour. If I needed to edit video, I would allocate 2 hours. If I needed to just take a walk, half an hour. If I needed to read a book for 45 minutes, and whatever the case may be, I would just allocate time. So instead of looking at the, as a goal, as an output, I just want to do this. And by doing that, it gives me more clarity, more structure of what I need to do in a day, and I'm not jumping from one place to another, because that was another issue. I suffer from ADHD, and when you're doing that, I would just sit down and try to write a script, and literally 5 minutes later, I would just jump onto YouTube and do something else completely. And after that, I would jump onto Instagram or go back and read a book. And my day would be like that, just trying to do all these small things. And at the end of the day, I was just avoiding the task I needed to do. So in order for me to stick to it, I would just sit in front of the computer. Even if I had no idea what to write, I would just sit there for an entire hour until the time was up or until I had an idea. And that creates a habit of sticking to one thing and creates this consistency of knowing what to do. The third habit is chunking down goals. We all have tons of goals, massive goals that we want to accomplish in our life. The problem with those massive goals is they seem so unattainable at this moment that we tend to get overwhelmed, and we tend to get discouraged by the fact that, well, that goal is so far away, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do it. However, by breaking down goals, we're more likely to accomplish them. In fact, do you know that most of New Year resolutions are dropped by February? People give up. I give up a billion times. A simple example, My goal for this year is to read 52 books, which is a book a week. If you say by just that, the 52 books, that seems a lot, and it is a lot. Even one book a week could seem overwhelming. Now, my goal of the day would be to read one page. Now, reading one page a day won't take me to 52 books a year, obviously. However, what you want to do is to have these small, very attainable goals that you can build up from there, create momentum, and keep going. Because the hardest thing to do is to start. And when we see something that is complicated, when we see something that is going to take time to achieve, even if it takes an hour or two to achieve a goal or to complete a task, we tend to procrastinate. We tend to put that thing off until we have no choice and do it. But if you feel like, I just need to read one page, once I start and I read that one page, I feel motivated enough to keep going to 2 pages, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And half an hour later, I read 25 pages. Habit number 4, have a sleep schedule. We all know from experts that we should sleep between 7 to 8 hours a day. Minimum, or at least the average. Now, what we tend to underestimate, or what we tend to have it as an underrated, is the fact that we need to have a sleep schedule. We need to go to bed and wake up roughly at the same time. In my case, I go to bed between 10 and 11 p.m. and I wake up between 6 and 7 a.m. And I try to get my hours of sleep. By having every single day roughly the same time I go to bed and I wake up, my body feels with a lot more energy, my mind is clearer, and my body's already ready to perform that day. Before I implemented that into my life, I used to have crazy hours. I would go to bed at 2 a.m., I would go to bed at 9 p.m., whatever the case. And the problem is I always felt out of energy. I always felt out of ideas. My brain felt always tired, even if I slept 8 or 9 hours. And the problem was my body wasn't getting the proper rest. And then habit number 5 is a blocking app for social media. I was struggling a lot with social media, especially with Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. I used to spend 5 to 6 hours a day on those apps. It was for me as an excuse to be up to date and research new content, post, and all of that. And the problem with that, it was draining me. I didn't have the mental energy or the mental capacity to do anything else. My brain was fried. It was just dopamine, to the point that even though physically I had energy, mentally I was completely drained. So the habit I created was to install an app to block those apps. So every day I have it on my calendar that at 9:30 a.m. after I post on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, as soon as I finish with my post, I right away activate that block app. So for the next 8 hours, those apps are completely blocked. I cannot access it. I cannot do anything about it until time's up. Keep this in mind. Habits are about creating a lifestyle, not achieving a goal. If you go with the mindset of I need to implement habits in my life in order to achieve a goal, the habit won't stick. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and found this information useful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.